What is the name of the act that declared the independence of the American colonies from Great Britain?
The act that declared the independence of the American colonies from Great Britain is known as the Declaration of Independence. It was adopted by the Second Continental Congress on July 4, 1776. The document outlined the grievances of the American colonies against British rule and proclaimed their intent to form an independent nation, the United States of America. The Declaration of Independence is considered a crucial moment in American history and a foundational document that embodies the principles of liberty, equality, and self-governance.
Which amendment of the United States Constitution protects freedom of speech?
The First Amendment of the United States Constitution protects freedom of speech. It guarantees individuals the right to express their opinions and ideas without government interference. This includes verbal, written, and symbolic forms of expression. While there are some limitations on free speech, such as incitement to violence or defamation, the First Amendment is a crucial safeguard for democratic societies, allowing for the free exchange of ideas, public discourse, and the pursuit of truth. It serves as a cornerstone of American democracy, protecting the fundamental right to free expression.
How many major departments make up the presidential cabinet in the United States?
The presidential cabinet in the United States consists of 15 major departments. These departments are headed by cabinet-level officials who are appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate. The departments include Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing and Urban Development, Interior, Justice, Labor, State, Transportation, Treasury, and Veterans Affairs. Each department is responsible for specific policy areas and plays a critical role in advising the President and implementing government policies in their respective. What is the minimum age to be eligible for the presidency in the United States? The minimum age to be eligible for the presidency in the United States is 35 years old. This requirement is stated in Article 2, Section 1 of the United States Constitution. It was established by the framers of the Constitution as a means of ensuring that individuals seeking the presidency possess the necessary maturity, experience, and judgment to hold the highest office in the country. Along with being a natural-born citizen of the United States and having resided in the country for at least 14 years, the minimum age requirement serves as one of the eligibility criteria for individuals aspiring to become the President of the United States.
What is the name of the legal procedure that allows an accused person to avoid punishment in the United States?
The legal procedure that allows an accused person to avoid punishment in the United States is commonly known as plea bargaining or plea negotiation. Plea bargaining is a process in which the accused person, their defense attorney, and the prosecutor negotiate an agreement regarding the charges and potential sentence. The accused person may agree to plead guilty to certain charges or a lesser offense in exchange for a reduced sentence, dismissal of other charges, or other concessions. Plea bargaining is a common practice in the U.S. criminal justice system and serves as a means to expedite cases, reduce court congestion, and provide incentives for defendants to cooperate with authorities.
What is the name of the act that prohibited racial discrimination in voting in the United States?
The act that prohibited racial discrimination in voting in the United States is called the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The Voting Rights Act was signed into law on August 6, 1965, by President Lyndon B. Johnson. It aimed to overcome legal barriers that prevented African Americans and other minority groups from exercising their right to vote. The act specifically targeted discriminatory practices such as literacy tests, poll taxes, and other measures used to disenfranchise minority voters. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 played a pivotal role in promoting voting rights and increasing political participation among marginalized communities in the United States.
What is the name of the act that established the Social Security system in the United States?
The act that established the Social Security system in the United States is called the Social Security Act. It was signed into law on August 14, 1935, by President Franklin D. Roosevelt as part of his New Deal program during the Great Depression. The Social Security Act created a system of social insurance to provide economic security and support to retired workers, unemployed individuals, disabled individuals, and families with dependent children. It established the framework for the Social Security Administration and the programs that provide benefits such as retirement pensions, disability insurance, and survivor benefits. The Social Security Act remains a fundamental pillar of the U.S. social welfare system.
How many seats are in the United States House of Representatives?
The United States House of Representatives currently has 435 seats. The number of seats in the House of Representatives is based on a proportional representation system, with each state being allocated a certain number of seats based on its population. The apportionment of seats is determined through a process called reapportionment, which occurs every 10 years after the decennial census. The goal is to ensure that each state's representation in the House reflects changes in population and maintains a balance of representation among the states. However, it's important to note that the number of seats can potentially change in the future if the size of a state's population changes relative to other states.
What is the name of the act that guaranteed equal civil rights in the United States?
The act that guaranteed equal civil rights in the United States is called the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson on July 2, 1964. It is a landmark piece of legislation that prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin in various areas of public life. The act prohibits segregation in public facilities, such as schools, restaurants, and hotels, and prohibits employment discrimination based on the protected characteristics. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 played a pivotal role in advancing equality and promoting civil rights for all individuals in the United States.
Which amendment of the United States Constitution granted women the right to vote?
The amendment of the United States Constitution that granted women the right to vote is the 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment, also known as the Susan B. Anthony Amendment, was ratified on August 18, 1920. It states, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex." This amendment marked a significant milestone in the women's suffrage movement, granting women the constitutional right to participate in the democratic process and vote in elections.
Constitutional rights are not given, they are endowed by our Creator and protected by the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson.